But they had to stop the game, dog, because Caitlin Clark found Angel Reese to smithereens.
Caitlin Clark showed the world why she's not just a rookie. She's a rising superstar. The Indiana Fever didn't just beat the Chicago Sky, they dismantled them. And in the center of it all, a cold-blooded performance by Clark that left Angel Reese stunned and silenced. After her longest break from organized competition, Clark returned to the court with a vengeance, unleashing a historic triple-double in the WNBA season opener.
They're gonna make this rivalry come back, this manufactured rivalry, which, by the way, you guys, the Indiana Fever...
No one, not even the most seasoned legends of the game, has done what Clark just did. Leading the Indiana Fever to a jaw-dropping 35-point victory, Clark didn't just make a comeback. She made a statement. And the Sky? They were left trying to figure out what hit them. The final score, 93-58. That's not just a win. That's a basketball beatdown. This so-called rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese has been drummed up by the media and fueled by a few spicy sound bites.
The regular season is here, and we have no more time for flirting, folks. We have no more time. It's time to get serious about our business.
But as far as the scoreboard's concerned, there's no contest. The Fever obliterated the Sky, and while Reese did haul in 17 rebounds, the rest of her stat line and her team's performance was an utter disaster. The Fever's suffocating defense held Chicago to a miserable 29% shooting from the field. They had no answer for Clark's brilliance, Aaliyah Boston's dominance inside, or the sheer energy and execution Indiana brought from tip-off to the final buzzer.
Course of the next 43 games, this team is going to get better. You aren't going to have many games where you'll only get 7 points out of DeWanna Bonner.
This wasn't just a win, it was a warning. The Fever announced their arrival as legit contenders. 7 months Clark had to stew on the sidelines, thinking about her critics, her doubters, and the endless chatter about whether she could take her game to the next level. 7 months of hearing Angel Reese running her mouth to whoever would listen. And then, finally, Clark got her chance to respond. Not with words, but with buckets, assists, rebounds, and lockdown defense. During the offseason, questions piled up. Could Clark adjust to the WNBA's physicality?
It's a tough one. It is a really, really tough one because Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are in fact...
Could she reduce her turnovers? Could she elevate the Fever into playoff conversations? All eyes were on her, and when the moment arrived, she didn't flinch. "I'm excited to play," Clark said before tip-off. "Excited to get out there. There's always a little anxiousness with the first game of the season, but nothing I haven't experienced before. Once I get in the building and into the routine of preparing, I'm pretty locked in. Honestly, I'm just ready to go play."
I will say a couple of things. Do I expect A'ja Wilson to be A'ja Wilson again this year? Yes.
That readiness was evident from the jump. Even in preseason, Clark's flashes of brilliance were overshadowed by concerns about leg soreness. Critics were ready to pounce. And who else was lined up to try to take her down? None other than Angel Reese and the Sky. The narrative wrote itself until the game actually started. Let's get something straight. Clark doesn't view Reese as a rival. She appreciates rivalries. They make sports more exciting. But let's not pretend this matchup is anywhere near competitive. "I grew up loving rivalries," Clark said. "Iowa versus Iowa State, that was like a pro-level matchup in our state. I still hate our high school rival, Valley High. My grandfather coached football, and we were taught to hold our breath when we drove past their school so we wouldn't breathe the air. That deep-rooted passion, it's what Clark brought to the court against Chicago. From the opening tip, it was obvious. She wasn't just playing. She was unleashing.
Like, she broke the record for assists. I don't think people really understand, like, how crazy that is to do as a rookie, your first year doing this.
Her first three-pointer? Pure swish. Her no-look passes? Jaw-dropping. Her rebounds? Ripped away from taller players with determination. She even surprised fans and analysts alike with her defensive presence. By halftime, the Fever had surged to a 19-point lead, and Clark was on pace for a triple-double. 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists before the break. It wasn't just a game anymore, it was history in the making. In the second half, the question wasn't whether the Fever would win. It was whether Clark could keep up the magic. She did. And in the fourth quarter, when she snagged her 10th rebound, she etched her name into the history books. A triple-double in a WNBA season opener. Taurasi never did it. Candace Parker didn't do it. Sue Bird? Nope. But Clark did in her second year, first game.
And I told y'all this last year. Well, I didn't tell y'all this last year on air, but like, we saw when they took the pictures with Christy Sides, like when she...
The weight hadn't dulled her. It sharpened her. Meanwhile, Angel Reese and the Sky had no idea how to respond. The Fever didn't just score, they stifled. Indiana's defense was relentless. From the very first minute, they pressured Chicago like they had an extra player on the court. Every drive was met by multiple defenders. Every passing lane was jammed. Every shot contested. Chicago couldn't breathe. Defense was really good. Fever head coach Christy Sides said post-game. And when we had lapses, we fought through them. Just a hell of an effort. And at the center of that defensive effort, Aaliyah Boston. 5 blocks, tying her career high, and countless altered shots that don't even show up in the box score. Boston made her former South Carolina teammate Camila Cardoso look completely out of her depth. Boston didn't just shut down the paint. She controlled it, commanded it, dominated it. Chicago's numbers tell the tale. 29.1% from the field. A brutal 22.2% from beyond the arc. Their offense was completely dismantled. It wasn't just about missing shots, they couldn't get good ones. Every possession was a battle. And in the middle of it all, Lexi Hull. Fever fans already loved her hustle. But in this game, she leveled up. 9 points, 9 rebounds, and an endless supply of energy. She dove for loose balls. She fought through screens. She disrupted Chicago's rhythm like a one-woman wrecking crew.
Oh my God, Sophie's a dog. She just is, she's a competitor. She's versatile, so she allows us to do different things. Like, she plays with such a toughness.
And then came the moment that everyone would talk about, the hard foul. With under 2 minutes left in the third quarter, Angel Reese got the ball and headed for the rim. Clark, seeing an easy 2 coming, wrapped her up with what looked like a textbook take foul. Reese hit the deck, and suddenly the temperature in the arena spiked. Reese popped up and made a beeline for Clark, full of that, "I want the smoke" energy. Clark walked away. Aaliyah Boston stepped between them. Courtney Vandersloot got involved. Tensions boiled. The referees reviewed the play and upgraded Clark's foul to a flagrant. Fans exploded with opinions. Some called it soft. Others saw it as unnecessary. But when you really watch the replay, it's clear it was a standard basketball move. And Reese? Her response felt performative. All bark, no bite. If she wanted to confront Clark, she had a clean path. But the tough talk didn't match the action. After that sequence, Clark went into laser focus. Reese, on the other hand, vanished. Indiana responded with a 12-2 run that buried any hope of a Sky comeback. Clark's flagrant might have sparked drama, but her response on the scoreboard put it all to bed. She didn't just foul Reese. She outplayed her in every category that matters. And let's not forget, this is only the beginning. The Fever showed the world they're not a one-player show. Boston was a wall in the paint. Hull was chaos personified. The entire team communicated, rotated, and executed like a unit that had been together for years, not one that's still figuring it out. Their energy was infectious. Their defense demoralizing. Their offense surgical. The Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese storyline may sell headlines, but the real story here is the Indiana Fever becoming something special. They didn't just defeat the Chicago Sky, they dismantled them. From start to finish, Indiana played with purpose, unity, and fire. The road ahead is long, but the message has been sent. The Fever are here, and they're coming for everyone. The Sky fell hard on opening night, and they'll have to wait a long time to forget the name Caitlin Clark. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more updates.